Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this occasion, we will tell about good and bad behaviors in German. Present by Alvinisa Arafah, name 85, Maf'ul Latifah 63, Intan Sofiana 65, and Sarlita Karismarani 66, and me, Salma Amelia Safitri 67.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you? I hope all of you are in good condition. So in this occasion, our group will present about good and bad behaviors in German. But first of all, let me introduce myself first. I'm Intan Sofiana and my student number is 65. Well, before we come to the materials, let me tell you the sequence of our presentation today. As I said previously, that we will explain about good and bad behaviors in German, and we divide it into some materials. The first, we will talk about good and bad behaviors and eating manners or table manners in German. And the second is good and bad behavior in public places in German. And the third is good and bad behavior in greeting people. And the fourth is good and bad behavior in visiting another house in German, of course. And the next is good and bad behavior in public transportation and business in German. And finally, the last, we will explain to you about good and bad behaviors in German society. So let's move to the first material about good and bad behaviors in eating manners or table manners in German. Okay, so for the first material, I'm going to explain to you about good and bad behaviors in German, especially good and bad behaviors of eating manners or table manners in German. But before that, I want to ask questions. Have you ever went to German? Or maybe you want to go to German? If you do, then it is a very important thing that you need to know. Because eating is our basic needs, but every country has different cultures and also different manners of eating. So that's why this is very important to you to pay attention to carefully. There are some good and bad behaviors that you must know. You must know if you go to German and you want to eat there, of course, as a foreigners. The first is, this is a good behavior that you must do in German if you eat with Germany. You need to say guten Appetit. It means you want everybody to enjoy their meals. And if you're foreigners in German and you eat with Germany in Germany's house and the owner of the house say guten Appetit, it means they really mean it. They really want you to enjoy your meal, and also they hope the taste of the food is delicious and it can satisfy everybody at that place. Okay, so the second good things that you need to know, this is, I mean, good behavior, and also this is important too. You need to start eating until everybody has their own food. This is very important that you need to pay attention to, because Germany respect each other. So maybe your culture, you can eat whenever you get the food while everybody has not get the food yet. But in German, you cannot do that because you need to wait until everybody there has the food. Okay, so the next is about bad behaviors of eating manners in German that you need to avoid when you go to German or you eat in German. So the first behavior is eating with an open mouth or make unnatural noises. So yeah, you should pay attention of this thing because it's very important. You should not do this bad behavior because it will be annoying for Germany. So you need to eat as quiet as possible, because yeah, they will think that you act bad behavior if you do this. Maybe in some culture or some country it will be fine if you do like burping or other unnatural noises while eating, but not in German. But it doesn't mean you cannot talk to people if you eat with some people on the same table with you, but not with your not with your mouth full with food. You need to finish your food first, then yeah, you can talk to people there. And the second behavior that you need to avoid is washing food. This is also very important to know that this will be disrespectful behavior in German, especially if you eat in a restaurant, then you wash your food, then it will be like you disrespect the waiters. And even if you waste the food at a restaurant, you will get charged. So yeah, just be careful and just order food as enough as possible. And the last but not least, the bad behaviors of eating manners in German is putting your elbow on the table while you're eating. Maybe it will be fine in some country, especially in Indonesia, maybe it will be fine if you put your elbows on the table, but not in German. You just need to put your hands on the table, because yeah, if you put your elbow on the table, it will be inappropriate, it will be impolite, and yeah, it's really bad manners in German, so that's why you need to avoid this thing. Okay, so that's about good and bad behaviors of eating manners in German. So the next material is about public places, or good and bad behavior of public places in German, will be presented by Serlita.
The next topic will be presented by me, Serlita, and it is about the social etiquette of Germany in public places. The first is squeeze in lines facing other people. Remember to be friendly all the time. If you are passing other people, you can say Entschuldigung, which means excuse me. And remember to passing people on the same row or face to face. If you do not do this, you might offend them. Then the second is do not cross the street on the red traffic light. Germans value their laws, so being in Germany, we should do it as well. Crossing the street on the red traffic light will draw the attention of the other pedestrian, or it might end up with getting ticket which will cost you for about €5 or 85,000 rupiah. Ignoring this by using bicycle, the fine will up to 60 until 180 euro, or about 1 to 3 million rupiah. Even worse, you can get puncture or point in the Flensburg, which will cause you losing your driver license for a few months. That's all for the German etiquette in public places. Now, let's move to the German etiquette in greetings. The first is you have to say hello to everybody. If you are entering the family meeting or a party, you are usually get introduced by the host or by the owner. But if this is not the case, you should introduce yourself. You can introduce yourself in a simple way like Ich bin blah blah blah, which means my name is blah blah blah. And you can get small talk, and don't forget to shake their hand when you are introducing yourself. You don't need to say the whole story of your life. Just say your name and get a small talk. That's perfect. The second is use the correct form of the day. According to the German etiquette, there are different ways to greet people according to the time of the day. For example, Guten Morgen, or which means good morning, is used until noon. Then Guten Tag, which means good day, is used until it is dark. Then Guten Abend, which means good evening, it's used when it is dark or when you are out for dinner. Then in informal situation, people usually use hello, which means hello. And then when you are leaving, you can use choose, which means bye. It's almost used in an informal way. Other than that, you can say Auf Wiedersehen, which means goodbye. Then the third is do not policener abgang. This means a police leaving. This is when you are leaving or sneaking from a party or other places without saying goodbye to someone or to everybody. This is considered rude, so do not ever do this. At least let the owner know that you are leaving. Just don't be shy. Let other people know you are leaving. So, that's all for the German etiquette in greetings. And for the next material will be presented by my friends.